Hello, Rocky again. Welcome back to another video. So this one's more of a retro style rather than the last one. This is a video I have tried to make dozens of times. My top 10 Amiga games of all time. Every time I try, I end up writing lists and I end up with 50 or 60 games, and I'm like, I can't pick. So today I've written 12. So, and I'm going to give you my 10 plus 2 honourable mentions games of all time. Just off the cuff, no overthinking it, because if you start overthinking this, then you end up go down huge rabbit holes, etc, etc, etc. So, I'll start with my 2 honourable mentions. First of all, this will be a controversial one. Flashback. Amazing game. Absolutely stunning. Great game, great graphics. Really hard. I find the controls a bit... I really enjoy it and I love it, and I've got it on multiple formats. I just find I wasn't as deep into it as other people. Perhaps it was too hard for me. Maybe a bit. But yeah, it's a stellar game, and I have a boxed copy back there somewhere. My next honourable mention. So I actually had two, and I thumbed and hawed, and I thought I'll go with K240. K240 is a real-time strategy game where you control, there's asteroids mining and you build on them and you fight enemies. It's damn good. I have a box. I have a boxed copy. Asteroids mining. Yeah, it's a sequel to Utopia, the Creation of a Nation. 3 discs, good old school, nice fat manual. Really good strategy game. This one was sold by P&C Floppies, Shop Unit 4, Brunel Market, Swindon, Wiltshire, and then a mobile and then a landline number for evening, so the guy's home number. Yeah. I mean, see you Amiga, 91%, the one 90%, stunning game, unit strategy, give it a go. So, on to my top 10. Coming in at 10 is a game that most people probably have never played. It's called Phantasy 3, The Wrath of Nicodemus. It's an early Amiga game from 89, if memory serves. RPG, you control a party, they die a lot. It's fun, the graphics are not brilliant. It's more about the game. A boxed copy these days is quite rare and does sell for hundreds of... Well, people are trying to get hundreds of pounds for it. So I wish I'd kept mine. I didn't. I spent a lot of hours in it. I got really far into it. It's easy to get into. One of those games that you do need the manual. So if you do download it, get a manual, either PDF or print copy or whatever, to fire through that. Number 9. Lemmings. It's Lemmings. You know, it's one of the seminal games on the Amiga. Save the Lemmings from dying. Just great game. I think by the time I got to Lemmings, I don't know why it's not higher. I just get frustrated with Lemmings after a certain point. I mean, I'm trying to pick holes in these games, but every single one I love dearly. So yeah, Lemmings, stunning game. Coming in at number 8 is Hero Quest, based on the board game of the same name. I have very fond memories of playing this game with my friend Barry. We played multiplayer, we played single player. I do have a boxed copy somewhere, but not with me. Again, if you play Hero Quest, you take control of one of the characters, go through the dungeons, explore for traps, RPG stuff. It's basically the board game in electronic format. I like the intro in it. I like the ease of use. I think it does a good job of getting people who've never played the board game into the game. So yeah, definitely Hero Quest. So what are we now? 7. Pushover, the platformer, which I definitely want a box copy because I went and bought it. Puzzle platformer came with the Amiga Wild, Weird and the Wicked pack in '92, which is the one I got for Christmas, which is one of the first Amiga games I played on my own machine. Brilliant puzzle game. You're basically having to push blocks over, make sure they all fall over and get to the exit. Sounds really easy. It's not. There's a tie-in with Quavers, Colin Curley. That's great. I really enjoy it. I know a lot of people don't. I really like Pushover, and I've played that many hours. It's such a starts off so easy, and then there's a learning curve. It's The sequel is not so great. One Step Beyond, I'm not a big fan of. So number 6, Civilization. I mean, it's stunning, dude. Hundreds of hours in Civilization. Basically take a civilization from nothing and to dominate the world, either through diplomacy, nuclear war, or building a spaceship going to Alpha Centauri. Or you can time out the game as well. I still prefer it to some of the later versions. I think some of the later enhancements do it a disservice. It just seems to lose some of the magic for me. As I said, I played it hundreds of hours. It's Civilization. It's one of the most seminal games, I think, of the last 40 years. Makes you think about your choices, and Number 5, Can of Fodder. Brilliant game. Absolutely brilliant game. Control little army people, try to kill the enemy. Mouse controlled, small sprites. Great intro song. War never been so much fun. A game not endorsed by the Royal British Legion, which is the reason it's not higher, it gets far too hard later in the game. It gets really, really difficult. So, number 4. Dune 2, The Battle for Arrakis. RTS strategy. A lot of people credit this as being one of the first ever strategy games. Basically build your base to saw the enemy. I absolutely love Dune, the film, the world, the books, everything. I'm a big Dune. I've got a Dune poster up there. I've got multiple copies of this. I own way too many copies of the 84 film on various formats of videos. I have completed it with all 3 houses at least once. Great strategy game. One really you need the hard drive for. There's how many discs in here? A few. If I remember correctly, it does come with a hard drive installed on the disc. You take command of one of 3 houses, so the Ordos, the Atreides, the Harkonnen, and the Ordos, all mentioned in the books. The sort of remake pseudo sequel Dune 2000 is really good. If you want to give that a shot on the PC, I'm not so keen on Emperor and stuff later. Interestingly, weirdly developed all at the same time as number 3. This is Dune. So Dune and Dune 2 were developed at the same time. This one came out first, hence it's called Dune. This is a RTS with strategy element. No. There's some RTS in it, strategy, RPG. Basically, it's closer to the book and the 84 film. You play as Paul Atreides, you need to kick the Harkonnen of Dune. 3 discs. There was a lot of disc swapping in between, so I remember running this on an external disk drive at the time, so that was really good. As I previously mentioned, I really love Dune, the world and stuff. This one, because it's closer to the 84 film, which I have an unhealthy obsession with, that's why it comes higher. Yeah. I own multiple copies of that as well. Now the top 2. So number 2 is going to be a very controversial choice for a lot of people. It's a platformer. It's called Magic Pockets. Bitmap Brothers, Betty Boop is the intro song. He plays a little character. You have to get through the worlds, destroying things. It's very cartoony, very cutesy. Each of the worlds he has a different ability. In the first few worlds, the first few levels of the first world, which is most of the only people have ever seen, is you can fire off a little tornado whirlwind, and that'll kill enemies. Or if you let it go to its maximum, drop it, and then you can walk into it and fly about the screen. On later ones, it's clouds. There are gasoline you pick up for fire. There's nails. It's a really, really interesting platformer that I think gets really overlooked. I would definitely play it. Gets very difficult in the later levels, and I can get to the end, but I cannot complete it. And there is only one playthrough on YouTube of it being completed, as far as I'm aware. So, number 1. Frontier Elite 2 on the Amiga. Space adventure training simulator. The game is extraordinary. I own multiple box copies of it. I estimate, I know for a fact thousands of hours. How many thousands of hours I've played of it is a bit of a guess. You can be anything you want. Pirate, trader, join the Imperial Navy, the Federation, go look for aliens, go explore, you fly from world to world, station to station, get different ships, different enemies, different baddies, you can fly missions, there's just, it's huge. And one of the things I was always impressed by, once that game's loaded from the disc, no more loading, ever. The game just runs. And it runs on a stock. I'm very well aware that people use the intro to it as some kind of like test on how fast the Amiga's running, but the actual game will run on a stock Amiga with 1 megabyte on an 020, on a Motorola 68000. So it does run fine on like a 500 plus 600 stuff. Because I played thousands of hours on it on an Amiga 600. Thousands of hours. Yeah. I genuinely don't think I will ever play a game for that many hours ever again. I mean, as you get older, you have less time. So yeah, that's my off-the-cuff top 10 Amiga games. And I'm very well aware I have missed some big hitters here, like Monkey Island, Settlers, Chaos Engine, Breath of Steel Sky, Shuffle Pluck Cafe, Megalomania, to name but a few more. So that's my top 10 that I just made right now with basically no thinking about it. If you ask me again in an hour's time, that'll probably change. So I'd like to hear your thoughts on what you think your top 10 Amiga games are, because it's not easy. Lots too. Thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next one. Bye bye.